welcome everybody, and pleased for you to join us here in London ahead of a big double fight week on Dazn this weekend. Of course, Friday night in Bilbao, Kerman Leharaja fights JJ Metcalf in a tremendous fight, and Saturday night here at the O2 Arena in London, just down the road, we have a tremendous domestic fight, but with massive world title ramifications. Of course, these two can be said to be the Battle of Crystal Palace or Croydon, and certainly the Battle of London and Britain, but also on another stage, World Championship eliminator for the WBA World Championship this Saturday, live on Dazn. I did actually forget to say, Darren Barker over there, 40 years old today, one of our first signings at Matchroom. 40 years old, former IBF World Middleweight Champion, but where it all started. Where it all started for Matchroom. But back to this card this weekend, because obviously that's the has-beens. On a serious note, we've got a tremendous fight card. Of course, the main event, a great fight, official eliminator for the WBA world title, but also World Championship boxing on the card. Big opportunities for the likes of Alan Babbage to secure his shot for the World Bridgerweight Championship as well. As I said, Chantel Cameron, who I think is one of the most exciting pound-for-pound fighters in female boxing right now, looking to make a big statement, as we've seen from the likes of many females over the last few weeks and months as the sport continues to rise. Great young prospects, step-ups, Olympians. We've got it all for you on Saturday night. And we'll start actually with Chev Clark, who recently got the shock of his life when his social media went mad, when everyone started fighting and talking about him fighting Jake Paul, which was enjoyable, Chev, but down to the real business on Saturday. After a great professional debut for you at the O2, you return there on Saturday for fight number 2.
Yeah, fight number 2, I'm looking forward to it, and just to correct the things that I didn't do right in fight number 1.
Fight number 1 was a great explosive performance, and just plans to do the same, keeping nice and active, and build up the rounds as we go. Want to box as frequently as possible. Don't want to get too spoiled back-to-back at the O2, but looking to take care of business and move on quickly and progress this summer.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't think a lot of people can say they've had back-to-back at the O2 at the start of their careers, so I'm grateful for that. And also the fact that I'm in London, the home city, and close to home where loads of people can come and watch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to putting on a performance.
Jokes aside about the whole Jake Paul stuff, I mean, he did say that he will fight anyone from our stable under 10-0, and you were the first person that I thought about as a cruiserweight. What happened on your phone that day? I mean, it got a bit lively for you, didn't it? I know that we FaceTime, but it was good fun.
Yeah, it was funny because that day Sam killed me in the gym. It was a grueling day, and I actually turned my phone off for the first time in a long time. So when my little nephew was playing with me, then he got bored, so I turned the phone off, went to bed. Thought I'd sleep all the way through to 7:30, and woke up at 12:30 at night, turned the phone on, and he went just going for like 30 seconds. I looked at it, I was like, nah. And I looked at it, it was like, it's me. And I turned it back off, I went back to bed and answered in the morning.
But jokes aside, get through Saturday night, but no problem with that opponent for the third fight, yeah?
No problem. I want a question. I got a question for you.
Go on then.
What was the wager you was going to bet? Because you stopped very, very harshly.
What's that?
You was like, oh, I'm actually going to bet. And then you was like, no, I'm not going to say that one.
Yeah, but you know, it was a lot of money, Chef. But you know, the bet was that if Katie Taylor won, he would fight any one of our prospects under 10-0. So let's see if he's true to his word. But good luck on Saturday. Take care of business first at the O2. John Hedges, one of our other young rising stars. Again, O2's become a bit of a home for you, John, as well. Seen you develop a lot over the last year or so under Mark Tibbs. Certainly growing into the weight. Still very, very young. But another outing at the O2 this weekend.
Yeah, ready. Thank you. Yeah, this is my third one on the spin at the O2, so I can't complain at all. I'm getting spoiled here, but yeah, same thing again. I just want to keep improving, showing the development. I got my first stoppage last time out, and hopefully just keep the ball rolling and performances get better and better.
Obviously, a lot of people taking note of your progression, but also working hard, you know, behind closed doors as well with Mark, and understanding that the work that you're putting in the gym is just as important sometimes as getting out under the lights.
Yeah, exactly that. We've got a great S&C coach, Sonny Cannon, as well, and especially at this age now, it's my developing stage where I'm getting my man strength and maturity. And Sonny, Mark Tibbs, Jimmy, they're all behind me, and I've got the best team in the game. So I'm buzzing, mate. I just want to keep doing it, keep being active, and second fight of this year, and just keep the ball rolling.
Well, one man who's been extremely unlucky so far in his pro career, but has kept smiling and always looking very smart, Cyrus Pattinson. Cyrus, welcome back at the O2 Arena. First time, I believe, for you at the O2 Arena. Obviously, fought at Alexandra Palace as well, and supposed to be fighting in Manchester last time out. Your opponent failed a late medical with the British Boxing Board of Control. Previously, your opponent failed a COVID test at the weigh-in as well, but kept yourself nice and positive. I know that was gutting for you in April, but great to be out of the O2 on Saturday.
Yeah, it is deflating in that light, but you've just got to dust yourself up, pick yourself up and carry on. I've had more training camps and fights now, so as long as I make it to the ring, I'll be happy. When you kind of control what's happening in a situation, you've got to be able to control how you respond to it. And that's all I've been trying to do, stay positive. I've got a great team behind us, and I'm just looking forward to getting to the ring on Saturday night.
Has that sort of made you hungrier in a way, and also more keen to move faster in the sport, because you just don't know what's going to happen? This sport is so unpredictable. You have been particularly unlucky, but as well, you know, fingers crossed everything goes well for you on Saturday, but you've got to take these opportunities when they come.
Definitely, I feel like I'm transitioning into the pros now. I want to have one more fight. It's 8 rounds, it's against a good opponent. And then I think I'm ready for titles, so we're going to progress from there.
Look forward to that. Charlo de Freitas, Charlo, welcome. Great performance from you at Alexandra Palace. We always kind of say at Matchroom, winner stays on, and you impressed a lot of people that night at Alexandra Palace. Now the O2, it's been a nice little run for you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me back. I feel like for this fight, I've learned something different about myself. I feel like this fight, you lot are going to see a different side to me. You're going to see a spiteful side to me, and I feel like, yeah, it's tune in. It's going to be special.
Talk about your progression, because you're sitting next to a lot of people who, you know, they earned the right to be there, but had the GB squad, had the Olympics and stuff like that. You've had to do it a slightly different way. We know you were a talented amateur as well, but had to fight hard for these opportunities as a professional, and now you're here on this stage, on the platform. The pressure's on to continue performing.
I perform under pressure. You know what it is? For me, I chose the harder route on purpose because it makes me develop, it makes me try harder, push harder. So I started off at your call, now I'm at the O2, so it's going good so far. So we just plan to keep on pushing, keep going hard, and keep progressing.
Good for you. Good luck at the weekend. We talk about women's boxing. Of course, it was only a couple of weeks ago we saw not just the greatest female fight of all time, but one of the greatest fights of all time, Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. We have 2 big championship fights for the females on this card on Saturday, and this fight particularly is one that I'm very, very excited about. Ellie Scottney, who has taken a lot of big steps up recently, of course, last time against former world champion in Guarani at Alexandra Palace. This time goes to a whole new level against Cecilia Roman, long-standing IBF world champion who lost her world championship to Ebony Bridges in Leeds. Looks to come back with a big win for herself. Cecilia, I'll start with you. Incredible that you suffered that defeat in Leeds and willing to come straight back in another big fight in the UK.
Increíble que después de sufrir esa derrota en Leeds ya está remontada, entrenando fuerte, tienes mucha voluntad y ganas de remontar y responder.
Bueno, antes que nada agradecer a Matchroom, a Hearn, a mi promotora Carolina Duer, a Juan Ledesma, y la verdad que si hay algo que tengo es mucha perseverancia y voluntad. Una derrota nunca me tiró para atrás, al contrario, siempre me dio más ganas para seguir adelante.
No, I'd like to thank Matchroom. Certainly when you get a defeat, it's not something that holds you back ever. I always think that it gives you even more desire and more will to come back, and perseverance as well. So I've got huge desire to perform well this weekend.
Just a quick question on her performance against Ebony Bridges as well, and do you think that maybe the team of Ellie Scottney might have looked at that fight and felt like this was the right fight at the right time?
Y el rendimiento frente a Ebony Bridges, igual los técnicos de Ellie han mirado ese combate y pensado que el combate contra ti era el combate idóneo para ella, para su desarrollo también. ¿Qué opinas de esto? después del combate contra Ebony.
Sí, es una buena oportunidad. Está bueno esto de enfrentar boxeadores que tengan buen nivel para subir al nivel de boxeo femenino y que los campeones femeninos, digamos, sean bien afianzados.
I think that it's when you fight against a high standard of opposition, I think that's always a positive. And I think when you're talking about women's boxing, that the higher standard fights that we can be taking part in, that's only good for women's boxing. It gives it a higher standing, both in sporting terms and in financial terms as well.
Thank you, Cecilia. Ellie, big step up for you at the weekend. Timing is everything. Is this the right time for you now? Great fight out last time, but a tough fight as well for you. More time in the gym with Shane McGuigan, and really the final hurdle for you at the weekend before you go on and challenge for the world title.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I've stepped up every fight and I'm willing to, so Saturday night's another step, and yeah, I've really got to show up and I'll make sure I do.
Last time out, probably Cecilia Roman was the favourite to beat Ebony Bridges. What do you take from that performance as well? I mean, obviously great win by Ebony in performance. We don't know if it was the best Cecilia Roman or it was just a great performance from Ebony, but you know, a long-standing world champion and definitely the toughest test of your career so far.
Yeah, you know, most definitely. I didn't just look at her last performance, I've looked at the ones, you know, where she's been, you know, really at her best, and I believe on Saturday night you'll see a different fighter in there with me, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Forward to a great fight. Ellie Scotney defending her WBA international title against former world champion Cecilia Roman. We go from McGuigan's gym to McGuigan's gym. Robbie Davis Jr. Robbie, welcome. I've got to say, this is a very tough fight for you. I mean, I look at Javier Molina, been in the deep end against some good talent, Mexican, tough. Remember the fight with Valenzuela, didn't go your way last time out, come back with a great win, of course, against Hank Lundy in Liverpool as well. But seemed like there was a real belief from particularly your team this time around that any opponent that was offered up, you were ready for, and this is probably the last hurdle for you before you go and have a big world level fight at 140 pounds.
Yeah, definitely. I'm made up to be here. When I first walked in here, I seen his brother Molina, Carlos, I thought, fucking hell, he's big. But near enough every fight that gets offered to me nowadays, I just accept them all. I leave it all to Shane and the team to sort it out. I'll fight anyone. I've always been that way. And they had to look at Javier for me. They said it's the right fight for you at the right time. He's a good opponent. He's been in with former world champions. He's been on a good resume. And I just thought, like, these are the type of step-ups I need, and I'm looking forward to Saturday night.
Talk about how your career and your life's sort of transformed a little bit. I remember after the Valenzuela defeat, you know, you sort of split from your trainer, and, you know, obviously people didn't know what the route back for Robbie Davis was going to be. You linked up with Shane. You seem in a great place right now, mentally, with your career as well, technically, I guess, as well, but really well placed in a division right now with Josh Taylor relinquishing his 140-pound title. There's 7 or 8 guys there in the mix, and you're right behind them.
Yeah, I think it was more down, like, when I fought Valenzuela, and obviously people seen the fight, they seen what was going on during the ring. 9 times out of 10 I'd beat him every day, and I think that's what hurt me so much. And when I put it out on social media, and I was like, not knowing where it was going to go, not knowing where my career was going to go, and then my phone exploded, and a lot of people reached out to me, and one of the names that stood out to me was Costa McGuigan's gym. It's a well-known gym with numerous champions coming in, week out. When I got the opportunity to go down there and train with them, and I really feel like I've stepped up a level, and each time I've been able to show a little bit more, and I think on Saturday I'll be able to show a little bit more again.
Well, Javier Molina, welcome. Obviously, we've had a number of Mexican fighters come to the UK and produce big performances as well. You're in good shape, you're ready for this chance, and a big opportunity for you at the weekend.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. Yeah, I know Robbie's a tough fighter. I'm coming off 2 losses against 2 tough fighters. I lost to Pedraza, who was a 2-time world champ. Ramos was like 2 weight divisions heavier than me. I've had only 1 loss at 140 pounds, which is against Pedraza. So I'm coming back down to my natural weight. We've been training hard. Even though coming off these 2 losses, I never questioned my ability or what I can do in this sport. I just, the only thing I questioned was what adjustments I had to make, and I feel like I made those adjustments by making some changes. I'm now with the new coach, with Joe, so we've been training well, and we're ready for this fight.
You've always had to jump in against tough opposition, sometimes with disadvantages in the fight weights, etc. But you know, we talk about Robbie Davis Jr. being world ranked now and ready for those big fights. A win for you at the O2 would be massive for your career and put you in a great position.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the type of fight I wanted. So when I got the call, I never questioned it. Especially fighting over here in London is something I always wanted to do. Fighting in front of the London fans, I know it's going to be a crazy atmosphere, so I'm excited.
Good. Great fight, Robbie Davis Jr. against Javier Molina on the undercard of Richards against Buatsi at the weekend. Of course, we go to another fight, a man that is always bringing plenty of entertainment, and so good, I feel, to see Alen Babic down at his natural weight class. Has spent his whole career, has spent his whole career up at heavyweight. Now fights for the WBC Silver Bridgerweight title, a fight that will take the winner of this fight to the World Championship against Oscar Rivas. Adam Buatsi, I'll start with you. Welcome. Polish boxing right now is in a tremendous position. We saw so many Polish fans come for the Sislak fight. We see a lot of Polish fans coming for you this weekend as well. This is a massive opportunity for your career.
Przyszli na walkę pana Cieślaka, także to jest wielka szansa dla widzów. Co chcesz powiedzieć?
Cieszę się, że tutaj walczę.
I'm happy that I can fight in here.
Jak to pamiętam, to ostatnio przegrali koledzy z Polski, ale ja tutaj przyjechałem po wygraną.
As far as I can remember, my friends from Poland lost last time they came here, but I came here to win.
What are your thoughts about Alen Babic as a fighter? Spent a lot of his career at heavyweight, but always brings plenty of excitement and non-stop action.
Co myślisz o Alanie Babiczu jako bokserze? On dużo wygrał walk i co o nim myślisz?
Przede wszystkim szanuję przeciwnika. Zawodnik, który może i mało ma doświadczenia z boksem, idzie do przodu, bije się, ale tak jak mówię, nie będę tutaj dużo mówił. W sobotę się widzimy w ringu i zobaczymy, kto jest
First
lepszy.
of all, I respect my opponent, and he's a fighter. Maybe he doesn't have so much experience in boxing, but we'll see on Saturday in the ring.
Thank you, Adam. Alan, welcome. Not too much experience in boxing, apparently. But on a serious note, so good to see you in this weight division. I mean, I know you can make cruiserweight and bridgerweight a new addition to the world boxing scene as well, but you look very fit, you look very strong, but this is a real fight for you at the weekend and a massive moment for your career.
Yes, it is. Thank you everybody for having me again. I feel blessed to be here with you on these big tables. It's just a dream. I'm really living my dream every time I come here, and I'm in the best shape of my life. Best shape of my life, and you're right, but I fight heavyweight at this exact weight. So I'm always at exact weight, but last two fights became too easy for me. I was just knocking guys out. For this fight I trained like a MF, you know.
When you go down to obviously cruiserweight and bridgerweight, how does the game change for you? You're fighting faster guys, you're fighting more athletic guys, but obviously you're fighting guys the same size as you. Do you expect this fight to be an explosive fight, like a typical Alen Babic performance?
Well, listen, I had only two guys at that weight, Chandel Winters and Damian Chambers, and those are the two heaviest knockouts of my whole career. So I expect this to be another knockout, crazy knockout. I'm not gonna go there to box. I'm back to my old self. You know, I'm not gonna try to do something new. I'm just gonna try to run over this guy. I respect him. You know, he respects me. It's all good. But I'm going for it since second zero. Since 0 seconds, or how do you say?
His second loss.
Yeah, second, maybe last loss, because I ended some careers. You know, I don't just give you a loss; I give you career ending. It's a good career ending. You know, a lot of people watching you fighting the Savage. It's a good thing.
Would you say that if you were going to have your career ended, to have it ended by Alen Babic is not the end of the world? Or?
Well, it's a good thing if you look at it that way. You know? You've been there. You're fighting the Savage, you know, you're fighting this demon. I'm fighting this demon my whole life, so he's gonna end my career too, so let's all just end career by the Savage. What can we do?
And finally, we talk about the winner of this fight will be in line to fight Oscar Rivas, the world bridgerweight champion. Very, very, very tough fight. You saw your stablemate Dillian White have a great fight with him as well, but you feel if you get through Buatsi at the weekend, you're ready for Oscar Rivas?
I'm gonna challenge Oscar Rivas the second after I win Adam Buatsi, and I expect it to be over in 3 rounds. That's my opinion. No, I don't have opinions. I just do stuff, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Adam. Look forward to a great fight on Saturday in the Bridgerweight division, the first Bridgerweight fight on a Matchroom card. See how that plays out. Now, the Unified World Super Lightweight Women's Championship on the line between Chantel Cameron and Victoria Bustos at the weekend at the O2. Of course, we know when we put the Road to Undisputed tournament together, Chantel Cameron unified at the O2 and headlined in a great fight against Mary McGee. Kaylee Reese not medically fit to take that fight yet with Chantel Cameron. We wanted to make sure we get her back in the ring, and a great fight against Bustos, who we've seen fight 3 undisputed champions. Katie Taylor, Jessica McCaskill and Cecilia Brackhouse have great fights with all of them, go the distance with all of them. Victoria, welcome. Another big fight for you, another great opponent, and every time you step up for these challenges.
Bienvenida, Vicky. Gran rival, siempre cuando hay un reto, nunca lo niegas, siempre estás presente. ¿Cómo te sientes antes de este?
Bueno, antes que nada, muchas gracias, Eddie, por la gran oportunidad. Mi inglés es muy malo, así que bueno. También agradecerle a la campeona Cameron, que muchísimas gracias por esta oportunidad. Estoy muy feliz de estar acá, de esta gran chance. Me he preparado como siempre para todas mis peleas, como me preparo súper bien. Tengo un gran equipo técnico, Freddy Rivero y el ruso, y por ejemplo también mi gran promotor Arano. Así que creería, como vos dijiste, que vamos a hacer un gran combate.
Well, first and foremost, thank you very much, Eddie, for the welcome and the big chance that you've given me. And I'd also like to thank the champion for giving me this opportunity as well. Thank you very, very much. I apologise for my English; it's not the best, so we're going through an interpreter. Whenever I prepare for any fight, I prepare really, really well. And we're in great shape. My team, my trainer, my management, my promoter, I'd like to thank them as well. But we are in the form of our life. And as I say, we've prepared excellently for this encounter.
In every fight we see Victoria Bustos in, we see her all action, non-stop, and the same from Chantel Cameron. We should get a great fight between you two on Saturday.
Va a ser un combate increíble, ¿no? Porque siempre cuando estás en el ring nunca paras, siempre luchando. Y es lo mismo que ella, mismos estilos, sin parar, sin rendir, sin bajar brazos. ¿Qué vamos a esperar del combate este sábado?
Como bien dije, pienso que va a ser una gran pelea porque es una gran rival, muy bien tiene ganado lo que tiene, pero creo que siempre no le esquivo a ninguna boxeadora, al contrario, me llaman y siempre estoy, y de eso se trata, ¿no? En el boxeo femenino, como han hecho Katie Taylor y Serrano, que para mí son lo más de lo más, y la verdad que eso también me pone muy feliz porque eso habla de la vara, cómo ha crecido en el boxeo femenino. En el caso de esta pelea, creo que va a ser una pelea muy buena, muy pensante de mi lado. Hemos trabajado muchísimo con el equipo en estrategia de pelea, pero bueno, peleas son peleas. O puede ser una pelea brillante o no muy buena. Yo creería que va a ser muy buena.
Okay, I think the fight is going to be a fantastic one. This Saturday, and I think it's going to be quite strategic, quite tactical, you know. We've thought a lot about this fight coming up, and with my team we've talked about tactics quite a lot as well. I mean, I think that I've never, whenever I've been given my opportunity, I've never said no. You know, I've come up against Serrano and Taylor. I've never said no. So whenever I'm called upon, I step up, and this is the same case on Saturday. You know, I'd like to congratulate my opponent. Fantastic career, done really, really well. But in terms of Saturday night, it's all about not missing the opportunity. I'd like to say, as I say, it's going to be a fantastic fight, but you never know. Fights can be brilliant, can turn out brilliantly, or they could turn out badly. Let's hope this one turns out in a positive, entertaining way.
Thank you, Victoria. Chantel, welcome. After what can only be described as an epic fight against Mary McGee when you unified the division at the end of last year, of course the disappointment of missing out on the undisputed fight with Kaylee Reese, as we hope she can return to the ring later this year. time was up really to get back in the ring. I'm sure you're delighted to get back in the ring, and a real fight for you as well against a former world champion who's boxed at the very elite level of the sport.
Yeah, definitely, and thanks for getting me back out, especially because I didn't got to wait for that final, so it's good to get back in the ring and get back to what I love doing. So great opponent in Victoria Buatsi. I know it's going to be a tough fight, but that's what I want. I want the tough fights and prove that I'm a worthy world champion.
I know you're focused on your career, but of course what we saw at Madison Square Garden recently, and people talking about Meyer against Baumgardner and Shields against Marshall, like there's never a better time. But do you feel the pressure to also make a statement yourself, because you're gunning for all of those, you know, Katie Taylor, Meyer, McCaskill, all these great fighters, and of course Kaylee Reese as well, but it seems like these elite females are constantly making statements, and I guess that's what you also want to do at the weekend without putting too much pressure on yourself.
100%. I think that's why me and Jamie wanted Victoria Buatsi as well. She's never been stopped. She's been in there with all the best, and for me, what a massive opportunity to make a statement and show that I'm better than everyone as well. My name should be mentioned with their names.
And finally, I know that I saw an interview of you saying, you know, I'm not going for the stoppage, and you know, I'm however it comes, but at the same time she has gone the distance with Taylor and McCaskill and Brackhouse as well, and I know the way you fight.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking to bring the heat and the tempo and ultimately try and force the stoppage if you can.
I think obviously if the stoppage comes it'll be nice, but I think the tactics we've got for this fight, I think I'm hitting harder, I'm fitter, and we've worked a lot on a few tactics where I think my punches are going to be a bit more hurtful, yeah.
I don't believe you. I know you're going to be going for the stoppage at the weekend, the Unified World Super Lightweight Championship, and we move on to the main event. A great fight, a fight that really, when you think about where these two came from, call it the Battle of Crystal Palace, the Battle of Croydon, the Battle of Britain, whatever you want to call it, these are the kind of fights that should be made all the time. Two guys that are on the verge of challenging for the World Light Heavyweight title. Of course, this fight, an official eliminator with the WBA. Joshua Buatsi, who's been virtually faultless as a professional so far, undefeated, big credibility behind him from an outstanding amateur career as well. Craig Richards, who's really been up, been down, taken last-minute opportunities, been thrown in against Dimitri Bivol, but has come through time and time again, continuously improved. Both step up for what many feel in boxing to be a 50-50 fight within the sport. Both guys feel differently about that, and last time we had a press conference, it was quite well-natured, and then I see you guys do a head-to-head, which was fantastic viewing, and just showed what this fight means to you both, and the opportunity that presents itself this weekend. Craig, I'll start with you. The confidence that I've seen from you over the last year, probably off the back of the Dimitri Bivol fight as well, put you in a position to really believe that you can win this fight at the weekend. You know, head-to-heads aside, inside you believe you will be victorious at the O2 this weekend.
Yeah, 100%, Eddie. I do believe that I'll be victorious, otherwise I wouldn't be here today. I believe all the fights that I've taken puts me in good stead, and I'm learning all the time when I'm in the gym, practicing, learning week in and week out, and improving. And these are the opportunities now where I get to show what I've been learning in the gym and how good I am.
I don't think anyone's stock rose more than Dimitri Bivol's outside of yourself a couple of weeks ago when he beat Canelo Alvarez, and some will say, oh, it wasn't the best Dimitri Bivol that night, some will say it was a very good Craig Richards as well, but whatever they want to say, the fact is you had a very close fight with Dimitri Bivol that night, and that must give you confidence as well to know that, you know, you've mixed it with the very best in the division, and you are ready, you know, you are ready, and you are one of them as well.
Yeah, 100%. The most disappointing thing about that fight for me is that I didn't actually get to go through my gears, and I maybe judged a few rounds a bit wrong. So to come up a round short was a little bit disappointing for me because I had more to show and more to bring. To come out of a 12-round fight now and you've got another probably 4 or 5 rounds in you is a bit disappointing when you come up on the wrong end of the decision or the short end of the decision. So now it's just pressing on from there. I've had a good fight come back with Mateo, another tough guy, got the stoppage, first guy to ever stop him, and I'm pushing on now, and I've learned since then, and now I want to go and show what I'm really about May 21st.
The head-to-head was a little bit out of character for you. You're a very nice individual, you're known as a lovely guy in the sport, but you wanted to get your point across in that head-to-head. Was that mind games, or was that just speaking your mind about the career of Joshua Buatsi? We know that, you know, he earned the opportunity to have a big promotional deal because he was an outstanding amateur as well, but you wanted to make it clear that you've taken a very different route than him to be here today?
Well, I wouldn't say it's out of character. I just think I'm one of them characters. I just say what I want to say when if I feel something, I say it. I don't necessarily I wouldn't diss him. I just said my opinion, and that's what I'm like. I don't pretend to say something when I want to say something else. It's that's how I felt at the time. I voiced my opinion. As I said at the time, it wasn't disrespectful in any way of what his amateur pedigree, what he achieved. It was just basically, I just put my opinion across about what I thought about now and my experiences now.
You say that there's two sides to Joshua Buatsi. There's a very respectful, humble guy, and then there's the guy that flicks the switch when he makes that walk to the ring. Looks like you flicked that switch before the ring walk as well. But although you guys aren't friends, I know you respect each other, but you do know each other, you've been around each other as well, and you really feel that you've got his number this weekend.
Yeah, it's not personal to Josh. I just believe that I'm the best in the division. I'm very good at adapting to fighters. I've got a very good IQ and I've got a lot of ability. It just depends on what I want to bring and what I want to take out of the toolbox that night. And I believe I've got the tools to get the job done for Saturday night. It's not personal to him. It's just that I believe in myself and I've got the ability to beat anyone, I believe.
And finally, having watched you on the pads yesterday and obviously hearing Peter Sims as well, one thing you do look to be doing is punching very, very hard. Really grown into this 175-pound division at the moment. You look like you're punching harder than you've ever done, and I guess you feel that within yourself as well.
Yeah, 100%. Camp's gone well, doing PBs, my strength's up, my runs are up, everything's up. I'm growing into the weight over time. I'm developing as a fighter, and I think these are the sort of things that kind of get underestimated about me a little bit, maybe my punch power and a lot of my assets, but it's okay because I get to show them every fight night and keep letting the doubters, proving the doubters wrong.
Thank you, Craig. Josh, I love the head-to-head. You know, I mean, sometimes we don't really see that from you until you make that ring walk, because you are very quiet, very humble, very respectful, and then when you make that ring walk, you know, me personally, I don't really want to go anywhere near you because you don't look like the kind of guy that wants to have a conversation. But it was an interesting head-to-head. You know, like Craig said, it wasn't throwing tables around, but you know, it was a discussion that seemed to fire you up for this fight. I know you talk about, you know, you've got enough motivation, but this isn't a personal fight, but I guess you got some people to prove a few things to as well, and you must have gone back to America with a spring in the step for training camp.
I think there's always people to prove wrong, Eddie, and in the face-off thing, mainly, Spider's point is you don't say what you want to say, your career has been paved out a certain way, all of that jazz, but we're 2-3 days away, so the talking is really, it's done. We're going to find out on Saturday. Not much to say, but yeah, the switch hasn't flicked yet. I don't think it personally flicked in that face-off, but we're 2-3 days away and the switch will definitely flip.
I'll ask you a serious question that I'd like you to be honest about, which is, did that in any way change the feeling about how you want to win this fight? And is there extra bad intentions from Joshua Buatsi going into Saturday? Honestly.
No, the struggle during camp, that's giving me that I've got that in me that I'm like, yep, I know how I want to perform on Saturday, and it's time to show it, because camp was very hard and someone's got to pay that price. I paid the price, but someone else got to pay it now.
I think a lot of the stuff that, not just what Craig said, but you know, you're not overly outspoken as an individual. You do keep yourself to yourself. You said in that head-to-head, I'm not interested in the limelight, if you like, and you've showed that by taking yourself out of the country, you know, away to America, away from your friends and family as well. But you feel like those sacrifices have improved you as a fighter and put you in great stead going into what is unquestionably the biggest fight of your career on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. If my camp were to be based in Brazil, I'd be in Brazil for 5 months of the year, easily. The way the life is now, I go anywhere I need to go and anywhere I need to be to improve. It happened to be the States, it happened to be in Cali, and that's where I'm based at. We have one career, so I put everything into it. Wherever I have to be, that's where I'll be. My family, my friends, they understand when it's all over, we can party, we can celebrate, but till now, Saturday's what's next.
Craig said that your ego will be your downfield. Do you believe you are a level above Craig Richards, and you'll prove that?
Firstly, Eddie, every boxer's got an ego. Everyone on this table's got pride. No one on this table sitting here wants to lose. Even everyone here watching here, no one wants to lose. Who here wants to go into a fight and lose? No hands. See what I'm saying? Everyone's got an ego. What about you? Do you want to lose to Jake Paul?
No, I've got a massive ego though.
See what I'm saying? We've all got an ego. So when he says that, I'm like, bro, we fight, we enter the ring, people are watching. We want to win. No one wants to lose. So yeah, we got an ego, man. Like, everyone's got an ego.
And finally, I want to ask both of you, I know it's the traditional any way possible, but how does Joshua Buatsi win this weekend?
I win by being myself. You can look at the stats and say, oh, this is how he usually wins. This is the style of fighting he's going to bring, but I'm going to bring it, and that's how I fight. That's what it is. I'm in there to win it. There's no other way.
You want to take him out inside the distance?
If I can, I will, absolutely.
Craig, punching hard. I know the win is the win, but do you believe you have the tools to take Joshua Buatsi out inside 12 rounds?
Yeah, of course I have the tools. We'll see if it happens on Saturday night.
Well, thank you. It's a tremendous domestic fight, and fair play to both these guys for stepping up. People, time and time again, waiting. Now you've got Joe Smith against Beterbiev. Now you've got Bivol may fight the winner. Now you've got Canelo might fight those guys. Be in the big fights for your career, and if you're good enough, you will win. Great show this Saturday, headlined by Joshua Buatsi against Craig Richards, official eliminator for Dimitri Bivol's World WBA Lightweight Championship, and a great undercard of tremendous fights with Chantel Cameron defending her Unified World Championship, Alan the Savage Babbage at Bridgerweight against Adam Bowski, Robert Davis Jr. against Xavier Molina. Plenty more to come as well, and we're going to have head-to-heads up here now.